Hello, I'm Jason Stephenson, and welcome to your Tiny Daily Kick podcast. Today's podcast is all about trusting the detours in life. What looks like an ending can actually sometimes be a beginning that you've been waiting for. I want to take you back to the initial days of the World Wide Web, www. This was a time where, for me, it was exciting. Now, I know I'm showing my age. This is quite a while back now. And in fact, one of the first people that I knew that got on the web was a friend of mine in Queensland. And she even encouraged me. She said, "Oh, you've got to see this, Jay. You've got to come up here and see the web. It's amazing." And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I visited her and a partner, and it was a partner that was showing me around this World Wide Web. I was blown away. It wasn't Google then, I think it was called Alta Vista. And he typed in something, he says, look, so he'd looked up natural medicine, and then all of a sudden this information come up. Of course, it was all very slow back then. The page was just slowly feeding. That's the way it was back then. A lot has changed. He also showed me that you could find music, and you could even download music. And I was blown away. And this opened the idea up for me, what was later to become Relax Me Online. But I liked the idea of downloading music, and I would like to set up a store and help sell other people's music, ambient relaxation music. That was a love of mine. I got my friend who's had some experience in website development to help me build it, Ian. We've been lifetime friends for quite a while. He helped me set up the site, and at first we decided we'd just focus on the CDs. I knew they were on their way out, and so I thought, no, MP3s were the future, and I was determined that that's where we needed to go. Now, of course, that development of MP3 downloads, that was complex development back then. That wasn't an easy task. While my friend was building the website at that time, he suggested that I start a YouTube channel to help with search engine optimization of the website. And so I started a YouTube channel. He said, put up sample music of what you're going to sell with a link to the website, where the website's going to be. I said, okay. Anyway, I did a couple of tracks, and then there was only one or two people that got to see them. And so I thought, I'll leave that for now until the website's built. That's not going to work. And then it was at that time, around that time, that they ran into some development problems with the website. And so I decided that it wasn't the right time and to put that aside for now, maybe come back to it one day. So I left the YouTube and website channel and just thought, maybe now's not the time. Maybe I need to go and do something else in life. So I went to a different kind of frequency, if you like. I took a part-time job in a crystal warehouse, a semi-precious stone warehouse. Really, they're vibrations of a different kind. They're healing vibrations. And I loved being surrounded by semi-precious stones. I've had a love of those since I was a child. It was a peaceful place to land. I began to convince myself that Relax Me Online was over, really before it had begun, and just focused on being there. But then something odd started to happen. Emails began to trickle in saying you have a new subscriber. First I ignored them, but they kept coming in. Then there was 10, there was 20 emails, and 50 emails. I'm like, when I checked my YouTube, one of the frequency tracks, one of the sample tracks, this was for headaches, it was beginning to go viral. And it had hundreds of subscribers, thousands of views, comments like, oh, this song relaxed me deeply, this song helped me with my headache, please make more. So suddenly, Ian's throwaway suggestion about having a YouTube channel with search engine optimization for the website, it began to make sense. It was getting hundreds of thousands of views. So I started replying to the comments, connecting with people, creating more tracks, sleep, stress, relaxation. Then came an email from a company saying that they could help me make money from YouTube. And I kind of laughed at that email. I thought, YouTube creators don't make money, at least not that I knew of. Anyway, it looked like spam, but something in me said, why not? So I signed up. And a month later, I had $250 that landed in my account. I remember grabbing the phone, ringing my parents and said, I've made some money. And my mum was very cautious at the time. And she said, Jay, are you sure this isn't a scam? I was one to get tied up in scams. And I said, no, Mum, this is real. This is happening. And here's the turning point. Month after month, those payments started to grow. And I made myself a deal that if I could make $2,000 a month, I'd quit my job. And sure enough, I began to get serious. I upload 6 tracks a week for headaches, for sleep, for anxiety, for stress relief. And bingo, I made the $2,000 a month and I could quit my job. I started to record guided meditations for sleep. Views skyrocketed, subscribers rolled in, and a new journey had begun for me. What I once thought was failure, walking away from Relax Me Online, was actually the seed of something greater. The detours that we face, they often feel like dead ends, like they're not going to go anywhere, but they might be shaping the exact plan that we're meant to walk on. Trust those detours in life, my friends. Just dive in with that open mind and heart and see where they lead. If you've been enjoying these tiny daily kicks, don't forget to follow and share the podcast so others can join in as well. I'm grateful for having you here today. Until next time, I'm Jason Stephenson. Imagine boldly, then go out and live it.